Jesus Christ, is this Magi chapter insane? So, this is one video that I am looking very much forward to, where now that Ugo has topped God, where he's now become something of such an insane level of consciousness of being, that he surpassed someone that can even foresee time and foresee the entire plan of the entire universe. Now this stuff, brace yourself people, because there's some shit in here that we need to really dive deep in it to fully understand this chapter. So I'm sure like a lot of people when we first read this was a little bit confused about what exactly was going on, but well, after like kind of reading this chapter a few times in my fucking old noggin and researching some shit on this, I ended up finding out, oh my god, just the amount insanity level of Ugo is beyond insane. Being able to be like an insane like level of being as like David's like, well, I'm already the guardian of the sacred palace. He's like, yeah, and that's what happens though when Ugo's saying, I am what happens when you exceed God himself. And he's like, you know, what do you mean and all that? It's like, I saw right through all of the Arbit's plan. I knew you was going to use Sinbad. I knew everything, a single thing you was going to do. You're going to try and take over me of the Sacred Palace. And he's like, no. You couldn't have known on my account of absorbing Ilya. And it's just like, yeah. But the Sacred Palace's system is designed to circulate the energy of Ilya efficiently, and since I'm also part of Ilya's world, well, mankind shouldn't be able to predict God's actions, but this is where I changed my mind. Isn't it fair? It's like, you know, that God can peer back into his own creations, one can also peer back, and it's just like, in other words, pretty much Ugo at this point had so much free time, and he realized something carrying out with his research. He is talking about God's multi-layered structure, and by the means you can trade ranks within the order. And he traded ranks with God. Pretty much, he became God. He became a sentient being. And he was just like, do you know how David reacted to this? He was like, oh my god, like, you know, this guy is like on the same level as me and all that. It's like, finally, this loneliness I thought I was expecting, you know, this entire time, I could have someone on an equal level as me. Let's converse as gods. And that did not go well, because of the clear fact of what happened next in that chapter is when he immediately teleported Arbor into his own domain of the Sacred Palace. And he's like, shouldn't I have won? Shouldn't I have like taken over this place and all that? And it's like, well, you know, where is like David and all that? It's like, our father. And he has been turned into a jellyfish, making his own universe right as we speak and all that in this like tank. And he's like, he's currently in the middle of creating a lower order world just as he wishes and all that with Rook, like a cosmos, even life. And it's like, this is really weird. So there's a universe within a universe, and in that universe, that's where David is the god. And when he explains and all that, it's just, I just swapped the order of gods in this world. And we find out a little bit more and all that, like, about what happened to Ugo. And Ugo has gone insane. Like, generally, and you can understand why he's gone insane. And it's like, Arba's like, why and all that, you know, like, are you doing this and all that? It's like, do you think you're God or something, Ugo? And he's like, exactly. I am God. You don't understand. Aladdin and the other words, I have managed this world that Solomon entrusted me to. I'm doing a good job, ain't I? You don't understand. Since Aladdin left, I've been so bored, Arba. You said that you've lived for more than 1,000 years, but there is no concept of time in the Sacred Palace. As for me, it is more than, and I'd like to point something out here. The way and the amount of zeros that has like been put onto this thing is inconceivable. Like, this is inconceivable by the human brain. How many? So either A, Shinobu just clicked the 0 on your keyboard and just went just like put into this. But let me just say to you right now that out of all of that, 42 zeros add to that, which may I add you, that goes past billion, that goes trillion, that goes from quintillion, that goes from all of that. Like, Ugo has been around, like, in this Sacred Palace longer than actual existence of time has existed in this Earth. Before there was even dust made in the universe, before the Big Bang actually created life, any of the things. Just to put it into a very interesting concept on that is the fact that he's probably been alive more than there probably is actual DNA that makes up an entire human being. The concept of time, and this is why Ugo has gone insane, and Arba understands, like, he's just completely gone, like, absolutely batshit crazy as he's like crying and he's like, can we be friends and all that, you know, I'm so happy to see you and all that, and he's like, what can I do? I can't oppose God after everything. Like, it's just so goddamn weird. It's like, literally he went crazy as soon as like Aladdin left him, like, because he was like, once that was like, he actually sacrificed his body to like disappear and all that, and even when like Aladdin, like, you know, I'm pretty sure that his body being on that other side was something he was able to do. It was like, oh, I'm able to, like, you know, my body's still able to tell me, like, what's happening. And it's like, I was still able to see Aladdin. I was still able to keep, you know, my sanity. But ever since then, like, the concept of time has just completely gone away from him like that. It's just insane. Like, when you think about it, and this is why we have computers doing these jobs for us, like, since a human brain's processing power cannot comprehend so much data, Ugo, who is a genius, who is beyond like another like realm, who is like ascended to God, he went insane because even with his insane brain power, even his could not comprehend the entirety life of the universe, the complete structure of every data, every being, everything. He is working with, like, with Rook, the source of life, and where he has to send out all that goes back, and his brain has pretty much like, I have to comprehend where this goes, that goes, where you're thinking about light, you're thinking about creatures and everything in the universe of like the Magi world, and it's like, that would, if you had to do that, you couldn't. And that's why, like, human brains can't do that, because if we do that, our minds would be mush. We couldn't take this stuff. And the way that how it's like been acting with like the whole dimensions that you know, like David is in like this little Tanga making his own tiny little universe in there. It's almost like on the level where it's like he has got his own dimension. And think about that, David is making his own universe right there. In that tank, that's full of life, that's full of beings right there, and you've got Uga right there. You've got a dimension within a dimension talking about that, and it's like, and thinking that the world is now being like brought to life in his own envision. It's like, what on earth is going to happen in that world? Even with like Sinbad's like, I've used this as like a stepping stone, and he's like, you know, I'm creating the world all of my life and all that. It's like, this is my destiny and all that, and it's just like, you're carrying it out so well. And the fact that Sinbad is still around, and it was just like, oh, you're finally using me, and it's like, I'm very interested to see like Sinbad's way of like, what is he going to do if there was a tiny bit of this Rook still around? Like, how is he going to stay, like, you know, behind all that, and like you use David as his stepping stone? Is he going to actually get out of that pocket dimension and actually escape? Is he going to be one of the only few people to escape like Ugo's wrath? Because Ugo is on such a different like plane of existence. Like, you can't like absolutely annihilate him, and this is the way where it's like, are you going to manipulate Ugo in this way where he's like, he's brain dead? Like Ugo in a way is just like, he's pretty much, his mind is mush, like, and that's just really interesting, the fact that David may not even be the villain anymore of Magi, in the way that, you know, Sinbad might actually take this place and like to use the Sacred Palace if he can utilize Ugo by manipulating his brain. He'd be like, I can bring Aladdin to you, we can be friends, just let me do what I want. Like, Ugo, everyone's happy. And it makes sense why, I know a lot of people saying, well, why on earth did he go insane? And it's like, look at the amount of time that he was in there, and think about what he's had to do in here throughout that entirety of that time, alongside just like, you know, concepting data and researching and doing all this stuff to like mend the balance of the world. You've also got to add into the fact that it's like, everything that's in the Sacred Palace with him is just mindless fucking creations. Like, they're not got emotions, they haven't got souls. Like, if you was alone for that long, you would go insane, you would go crazy. And it's like, he did it just to keep to the fact that, you know, he did this for his friend, he did this for Aladdin, he did this to everybody, and that's what you think. That's why, if anything, if, you know, if people believe there is a God up there, or if anything that's like one sentient being, that sentient being and all that wouldn't be sentient anymore because he's gone fucking insane. And that's why, like, a lot of people saying, oh, why, you know, if God exists and all that, why is he letting cruel things happen to the world? That could be a plausible, like, calculation about what's actually happening. Like, I wouldn't blame at all. Like, personally, I'm a man that's like agnostic, where pretty much people don't know the terms. I would like something to be after, like, we die and all that. I'd like something to happen after we die. Like, maybe there is another world, or maybe we get reincarnated. Any of the sort of beliefs and all that happen. But just with the amount of evidence that we've shown, and just how much cruel shit happens in the world, You know, should I believe that there's some bearded man in the sky that's going to take me to heaven afterwards, or hell, like, you know, after, like, if I'm sin or a good person? You know, that's just generally how it is to me. And, like, even if, like, I find it's kind of interesting that Shinobu Taka's addressing this in a way, and it's insane. And this is why I love about Magi so much, because Magi makes me fucking think. It makes me think of fears. Like, I've talked about, like, destiny. I've talked about the concept of destiny. I've talked about time and dimension and how space, you can bend reality. And, like, black hole, like, most mangas don't do that. And a fucking shonen manga at that. And these are stuff that I used to fucking love researching and studying in high school. It was stuff that I found interesting, and I really hope you guys find it interesting as well, because I know a lot of people just did not know what the hell to think about this chapter. So the question is, though, is Ugo a bad guy? I don't even know Ugo pretty much knows most of the stuff that's going around before, and that, like, he's probably the most happiest in like the entire planet. The fact that he's able to have friends around him, like, he's like, oh my god, Alba, we can be friends again, we can be happy, we can be eternally there. And it's just like, yeah, you know, like, that's something that's just goddamn interesting. The fact that, you know, imagine what an actual human being is to Ugo. Like, to Ugo, that's just like, oh, that's data. That's generally, that's all you are. You're data. Alright, you're Rook. You know, go back there, you go to the sea. And, you know, I thought that was still, like, pretty cool, like, with him, like, with Sinbad. He was like, oh, I wish at least then he could be actually, you know, part of the sea and all that, like, you know, so the noble cause and all that is, like, go back to him. So, like, there's still parts of him. I think he has kept an eye on the most important players of, like, the whole, like, of the entire world. Like, he's taken an eye on, like, Sinbad, Aladdin, you know, all the Magis, all the stuff that, like, keeps the world going around. But it's just like, my god, this chapter is just like, it's a mind fuck like that. Like, generally I had to talk to this with a friend, just like, we had to, like, dissect this down. It's like, okay, what does this entirely mean? And you can clearly see when the Sacred Palace, you can see, like, all the information, and you see all the other worlds that Ugo's created, and the galaxies, and it's just like, everything that's been maintained because of that stuff, and like, because what he's been doing. And it's like, I would love, and I doubt we're ever going to get to that point in Magi, but if we actually learn a bit about what is other life and all that, if this is just like how this world is going and they're going close, I would like to see if, like, any of the other, like, universes and worlds in Magi would be sentient, or even if, like, Shinobu does another series after this. Like, I would love if it's going to be taken in the same universe in this, but it's like a different planet or a different part of the universe. I thought that would be absolutely great if they actually do something like that. But just, like, I really loved it, and, like, it was a bit hard to understand with some of the stuff that dated. Like, if you look at some of the panels where he's in, where you got, like, see all the different dimensions and all this parts that's coming off to him, like, being God. Like, I believe that's a lot to do with, like, the 101 Arabian Nights. Like, I believe, like, a lot of that has to, like, go into that as well, which personally I'm not too much of the information, like, knowing about too much about that tale. Like, only a little bit of that about it do I know about, but it's just like, even seeing, like, when he was talking about, like, you know, this is my destiny to become, like, God, like, to become Iliad, and it's just like, you know, he, like, even he sensed was something wrong in, like, this universe that he's like, is this my fate and all that, is this really my destiny? He's like, yeah, and you're carrying it out well, though. And Sinbad, like, sees, like, I'm just gonna use you as a stepping stone, and just even where, you know, like, destiny was like even like mere stepping stones, like Sinbad out of everyone and all that, the king of the seven seas is somehow surpassing that all, and we just need an explanation. And it's just like, my god, I need that next chapter of Magi right now. I need 325. I need more. And this is why Magi is just like one of the, like, even though it had that really bad rough like part for a while with the time skip, just when it gets to this stuff, it's goddamn insane. And it's like, name me the last time that we've gone to, like, in a manga where we've had insane fucking stuff with, like, Naruto, you know, like the power levels and all that have been insane in those series, where it's like, they've gone to, like, really god sentient beings. But it's like, where'd you go after when you surpassed God itself? Where have you gone where, like, mere God, apparently David, is just a bit of putty in your hand that you can just meld him into his own universe? Like, god damn, this feels like something this would belong in a Marvel or a DC universe. Like, this feels like something in those worlds that would happen. And I know, like, there's, like, some guy that controls the universes in, like, both Marvel and DC and some weird shit like that, but it's like, god damn, like, you don't really see that much often in manga, and it's really, really interesting. And it's something that every now and then I do love studying science. Science is just a fantastic thing. It solves a lot of things, and to think that, you know, if, like, some crazy shit like that actually happened in our world, it would just blow our minds. And I love it. I genuinely love it, and I just love all the finding out of science and all that. And I'm very curious to see what people think in the comment sections down below, especially about the concepts of time, the concepts of reality, and everything. We've talked about destiny, we've talked about like universe, like stuff before, and all that bending space and all that. But the fact that now we've got a sentient being, a god that's just gone mush, and it's like, oh, what happens, you know, if like God itself has just become this, like, and he can just do whatever he please? Because Ugo he's the controller of it. At any clear point, he could destroy like, everyone in that Magi universe. He could just go like that, boom, like that. I don't want to see, like, you know, he's technically controlling the flow of destiny and all that. But if he fucking on a whim, if he pleases, he could do whatever the goddamn hell he can, like, do whatever it is and all that to mess with like people and all that. And that's really goddamn insane. And just the fact that Ava has to keep her fucking mouth shut for the most part and all that. She has to think about that, and that's going to be interesting. That now that she's in the Sacred Palace and all that, does that mean, like, I wonder how much time is actually like going by in that, or like I imagine it's probably going to be normal time for like Sinbad, because I don't think they're going to be in there for as long as like how like pretty much what he's been in there for. But Ugo, I doubt that they're going to go in there for like incomprehensible, like, just time and space law. Like, no, it's like that time. And I like to point out, just again, like, Ugo's been in there longer than the existence of our world. That's just something to say. That is nuts. But forget the dinosaurs, forget like the planet itself. I'm talking about the entire universe scale of that, and that's why, like, that Magi chapter straight there, that is like a fucking 9 to like a 10. I know that's going to confuse a lot of people to me and all that. It really got down to interest me, and the fact that he's actually made, like, he was able, just by sheer programming, just sheer, he had all that time and all this, he could manipulate in a way where he could become a higher level of God. He was able to predict that future and all that, and somehow counteract it with David's stuff, and it was just goddamn interesting, and I love it. Magi is the fucking best. Like, that's just clearly, like, when it does this stuff, and I'm very curious and all that. How is Ugo going to react, though, when he see Aladdin? Is he just going to act like a child? He's like, I've been here for so long, I've missed you, Aladdin. Oh, why haven't you come sooner and all that? It could be in a way where it's like, Sinbad could be the final villain, Ugo could be a villain at this point. Like, it's so goddamn interesting. Like, I generally think if Aladdin's going to come at this point and all that, Ugo's just going to go insane. Like, he is. He's just like, I've missed you for so long. He's going to go, like, act like a child or something. And I think Aladdin's going to get really depressed by this. It's like, I'm going to have to put down my old friend. It's like, what? Because, like, can Aladdin even beat him at this point? He can't beat her, like, in a way where it's like, no one can touch him in that, when he's, like, bending space and time. But it's like, does that have any chance against Ugo? Like, a man that can just go click like that and just, like, immediately take down the universe? Hell no. Like, and that's what I love. Like, Magi, fantastic. Just goddamn, like, chapter, like, that's one of the chapters of the year for me. Like, just in a sheer case that's like, it's been a while since a fucking piece of like, you know, a piece of page and all that has made me think like that and think about structures of the universe and everything that's going down in there. It's amazing. Like, I surely love that, and I really want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below, especially about that chapter of Magi, because I was blown away. 325 cannot come sooner. Give me that stuff. I need it. I need it all over me like that. Just so, at the end of the day, 10 out of 10. Any of that other manga that you're thinking about right now and all that, name me the last time and all that, you know, I love my stuff and all that. I think Gintama's amazing. I think that Magi's incredible when it comes to the scientific stuff and all that and everything. But it's like, it's been a while since Jerry Magi brought a question like that, and I'm really interested if there's any other manga that's ever done that. And I'm pretty sure Magi's not the only one. I'm pretty sure there is like one or two that's actually kind of gone into the addressing of that stuff. But Magi has always had like a big thing like infecting religion and everything for the series. And the fact that this is its way of addressing religion is like, no, this is God. This is God, and this is how God acts, and this is how the world was made and everything. And it's like, goddamn. It makes me wonder what these mangas really think in their heads and all that. Like, do they think the kind of the same things about the way like the universe works, or is this just like sheer imagination coming out of them and just saying, oh no, this is how it works, and I've got to do this on a weekly structure? And it's just like, no, I generally think Shinobu Otaku is probably like, you know, she's probably gone insane as Ugo. I think that's the case and all that. Like, she's probably like her brain is to mush at this point, but goddamn, loved it. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below what you thought about the Magi chapter. That is all though from me. This was a long one, but thank you for all those people that stuck around and listened to all I had to say about this one. I will see you guys though next time.